What's up, Nakul? How's it going?
Hey bro, I'm good and it's going good, pretty good.
Thanks for doing this for me, man. I think I just called you once and you came without any questions, without any doubts. So thanks a lot for doing this, bro.
Thank you for having me, bro. Like, I'm excited to be here
We're excited as well, bro.
and really excited to meet you and talk to you.
This is the first time we're actually meeting, right?
Yeah.
We've always actually chilled on Instagram and on text and WhatsApp and stuff that.
Yes. Like, first time we are meeting physically.
Because you don't come for my gigs. You should come for my gigs more often.
Yeah, bro. I try to come out for gigs, but sometimes I just like to sit in the house and sleep early on the Saturday.
Good, yeah. Good scenes. So tell me about your journey. How did you start off, yeah?
Okay, so I basically started when I was in school.
Okay.
It was 9th, 8th standard. I started in the local street scenes, you can say.
Okay.
I used to make collections on my computer and write CDs and distribute them to the local DJs and the sound guys.
The
on
local guys
streets.
who are playing in the streets for Ganpati and all those guys. Are you serious?
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's how I got into the scene, and that time I should do it as a hobby,
Okay.
not as a full-time thing or
So you
anything.
grew up with these kind of friends? Were these guys your people?
Uh,
Were they in the surrounding, or how do you come across and meet these people?
I met these people near my, in school.
Okay.
There was a friend who was connected to these people, and I got a chance to actually go and sit in the go down where they keep all the sounds and all,
Oh my God!
and
Wow.
test out the amplifiers and sound they use. So that time it was a big deal for me, like to go just spend time in the go down, to play music on the big speaker.
Okay. That's like a big thing to do actually.
Yeah,
Listen to yourself.
because
Yeah.
there's no volume control, nothing.
Okay.
So it's good to hang out over there.
Great. Yeah. So how did you get into? I mean, your transition from that kind of industry. How did you come to where you are right now? You're doing primarily house and techno. How did this happen?
Okay, so I was in school, I started the scene over there, and later on I completed my college and I was working as well.
Okay. Where were you working?
I was working in many different companies. For example, I was working in Ventura, Kalyan Nagar.
Okay.
But it was on and off. Like, I was not working there continuously. I used to work for 6-7 months, change my job. Because I was in college, bro. Like, I had to have fun too. So,
Great.
and after that, in 2012, I got in an accident.
Okay.
And but after the accident, I was in bed for, bedridden for 2-3 years, I guess.
For 3 years. Okay.
And 3 years, I didn't really have anything to do. I was just in bed. And that's how I gave a thought why should start learning production,
Okay.
because I was into music. I used to listen to all kind of music from my college days, my school days, commercial, hip hop.
What kind of music were you listening to? Some artists.
See, in my college days I was more into hip hop,
Okay.
dubstep. Then there came a time where I was into house music,
Okay.
when David Guetta came into the scene, Afrojack.
So how did you? Who introduced you to these kind of guys?
It was my friends' internet,
Okay.
and that time we had channel V,
Yeah.
so MTV,
And
and
VH1 as well, I think. Yeah.
VH1 came on later, but
Yeah.
the hip hop scene was more popular on MTV, I guess.
So your source of information was friends
TV,
and
friends,
television. Okay.
yeah. And so I got into production. I was into bed, and I thought I should give it a try. And I really wanted to get myself on Beatport because I was really fascinated about, getting a release done and
It's a bit
making
exciting.
my-
Your first Beatport release is very exciting, right? You have to tell everyone, no matter how shitty the track is. it's always everyone's.
Yeah, I mean, you can
goal.
after the release, it's a different feeling. Like, you make your own music and it's finally up there for everyone to listen to.
So let's go a bit back. How did you learn? So production was at home. Everything you learned at home yourself.
No, production I started learning when I was in the hospital.
In the hospital? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Through YouTube and stuff?
Yeah, YouTube. I had my headphones,
Okay.
and whatever I learned production-wise was on headphones.
Oh,
And
wow.
at the start, I didn't really have monitor headphones. I was
Okay.
just using normal phone headphones
All right.
and FL Studio, and started. Basically, I started learning to make hip hop beats,
Okay.
because that's, I feel,
The bass.
Bass. For FL Studio, if you wanna know how the software works,
Of course, I understand.
hip hop. Then I got. Then I started getting more into VSTs and plugins. There was a time when I used to like when I made my first track. It was like a hip hop 2.5 minutes, I guess,
Okay.
and it was a shitty track, but still, I really liked it because I sat there for like a whole day, and I made something out of it, and I exported it somehow, and I was listening to it on my phone, and it was a happy moment for me, and that's how it all started, and that's how I kept doing it because I didn't really have. I had a lot of time in the hospital.
Okay.
I mean, I had my physiotherapy and all, but I was free in the afternoon and the evenings mostly.
All right.
So I really like to, sit there and give myself time with music and learn production. There was YouTube and internet helping me out,
Okay.
and that's how I got into scene.
So the entire time you just were on YouTube, and that's how you figure out the entire thing. And how did you come into so like you said, you started into hip hop. Then why did you make a decision to probably produce only house and techno?
See, basically, when I started, I wanted to make progressive house stuff,
Okay.
but to achieve those sounds, it was when you're opening FL Studio for the first few times, you don't really have any idea how to.
Of course.
So it was really difficult to figure out how these guys are making their sounds, and even for example their kicks. It's a task that time.
Of course.
So I thought, why not start from something light,
All right.
and I got into hip hop. I made a profile on SoundCloud, profile on YouTube.
Okay.
I made around 10-12 beats.
So when was your first track that came across? Like from the time you started, like okay, you switched on FL Studio for the first time, and what is the time duration where you made your first? I'm not saying in terms of good quality, but in terms of an entire workflow, an entire structure with a proper intro made in
Hip hop, I was FL Studio. I didn't really I was not confident enough to that my track is full. I was just making hip hop beats. It was 3.5
So you used to work on
minutes.
how much minutes is done of the track?
I don't know. Like I used to basically concentrate more on the main hook.
Okay.
So if that's good, like the hook, the where the how in their words they say that the rapper could introduce his. So that's what I considered out. But the main scene was I just wanted to get it out and get a review from people. So I started it uploading it on SoundCloud
Okay.
and YouTube. And later on, I got pretty like 2 years time, I guess. I
Okay.
started this in 2012, 2013,
Okay.
and in one and a half year from FL Studio, I shifted
Okay.
to Ableton.
Why was that switch? Why was it necessary? Because FL Studio is pretty compact, and especially for beginners, it kind of helps everyone.
See, I'll. This is what I think. I don't know like what others think, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel there is more you can do on Ableton than FL Studio, because the name like Ableton, it's live. You can do live shit on it. And FL Studio
It's all programmed.
programmed, yeah, means you can't use. You can use, but I don't really feel comfortable. I feel my sounds is more better on Ableton,
Okay.
and I have a more control over Ableton than FL, and I feel more comfortable actually producing on because that time FL was good, but I wanted to try something different
Okay.
and also improve my sound quality, and that time after hip hop I started producing psytrance music.
Okay.
I still have a EP released till date of 3 tracks, which got uploaded on a very nice channel on YouTube. It's Goa Music.
Okay.
So they uploaded but it was independent release. It was not like on a label or anything.
All right.
And then I took time, like I took a break for I guess 2.5-3 years after that. 2 years, I guess.
That's in production?
In
or
production, yes.
Why is that
I
so?
was learning. I wanted to do my thing. I wanted to get into house and techno. So
No, so you said you stopped production. I mean, you stopped letting the music go out.
yeah, I
but
didn't
you were still
release anything.
yeah, so
I
you
was just working.
working on music. Okay.
Yeah, cause I did hip hop. I did, but I really wanted to get into house and techno, because that's why I started production basically.
What's your first experience of a house track, or when was the first time you experienced a club where there's house music playing, or any DJ in that particular order was playing?
The first time my track was, I was really inspired by Deadmau5 music.
Okay.
And the groove, just the normal groove. It's nothing like, it's kick and snare and claps. I was really moved with that groove, just 4 to the flow kick and going.
Of course.
It's just going on to the whole track, but it's so groovy and makes you move. So I was really interested into that music.
Okay.
And the first track I listened to was not in a club, was on my headphones only. I was listening. That time they used to make a show on Radio Mirchi at night, 1 hour EDM show.
Okay, I'm not aware, but that's great. if they did that time.
Yeah, that time they used to play 1 hour only on Saturdays, I guess.
Okay.
So they used to play one. That time I used to get to know all the new tracks and all, what's going on, and also we had internet. So
Yeah. So your first release, tell me about your first release that actually went out. How did that happen? How did you get a label?
I started making tracks, house and techno. I didn't really have any idea on which label I'm gonna release anything. I just wanted to get myself on Beatport, and I was really fascinated about Beatport and all.
Why is that so? But
if you see from an artist perspective, like if you open Beatport, it may be normal for some people, but it's like a different story for people like me. You feel fascinated, like seeing these guys playing their own music, making their own music, and it really got my attention. Like, I want to do this, like I want to be there. So that's what got me started. I thought I wanna be there on the top 100 maybe one day.
of course, bro. So yeah, your first release that actually happened. How did that work out?
I released around 6 or 7 tracks on SoundCloud.
Okay.
They were just laying down, like I didn't send it to any labels and all. But somehow I got in contact with this label called Tribhuvan.
All right.
And
based out of Hungary, I think. So. Where is it based out of Hungary?
Hungary,
right?
yeah. They liked my few tracks. I said, if they liked my few tracks, why not I send them all my tracks? So I sent them all my tracks, and they ended up selecting them all. But they released it on 3 EPs.
Okay.
One on their major label, that's Tribhuvan. 2 EPs on their sub label, Taram Techno.
Okay.
So that was my first release in 2019.
Okay.
3 EPs with, I guess, 7 tracks.
Great. So what next? I mean, how did it go across? Because I think in the last year you've got around 20 plus releases.
Yeah, I mean, till date I've made around 37 tracks on 12.
Are you serious?
13, yeah. Like tomorrow 2 tracks are coming out.
Are you serious? How is this frequency so much? I mean, how much time do you take to make a track?
Basically, I don't really have anything to do much. Like, I'm just sitting at home.
Okay.
Making music or either listening to music. And even if I go out, I don't go out for much time, like max 6-5 hours.
Okay.
So when I'm home, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting on my laptop and making music. So that's what, I think it's a plus point for me.
Tell us about your DJing. Yeah, how's it going with your DJing?
DJing is going good. I'm getting to play in the city. I'm doing a few gigs this month.
Oh wow.
Trying to get, whatever's coming on my way, I'm just going to it.
Do you approach the clubs? Do they approach you? Do you have some agency who's handling you? How does it work?
Not really. People do approach me. Also my friends.
Okay.
I also sometimes go and approach if anyone, I go and send my profiles to everyone.
Okay.
The promoters, the agencies, and also sometimes I go at the venue and talk to the people.
Great, yeah.
So it helps, whatever whatever you think is gonna help you, I try to do it. But I can't go everywhere. So yeah, I'm trying my best.
What do you enjoy more?
I enjoy more production than DJing.
Okay.
Because in production you don't have anything, like, you know, there's a lot of time. You can give your own groove and own vibe to your tracks.
Okay.
You don't have to, like, you know, think about anything. When you're playing your DJing, you have to think about
Of
what
course.
what you have to play next. Is you know, crowd enjoying your music? Does this song will go after this song? You know, many things come
Of
to your
course, of
mind.
course.
Because you're facing the live crowd eventually.
Of course.
Production is different. You're sitting in front of your screen. You have other things going on in your mind, like you know, what kind of groove do you want to have, or maybe just go with the flow. Sometimes, you know, just sitting production, you don't have anything to do, just go with the flow, and at the end of the day, see if the track's going good, if you like the track. No.
But how's your workflow? Like you said, like 34 tracks you said in the last couple of years. How do you like sit down? Do you sit down on a blank piece of paper and start working on it, or how does it work? Do you have some reference point? Do you have something that you've thought about and you want to kind of do it, or how does it work for you?
See, basically, when I sit down, it's nothing in my mind, just an empty blank able in new set. What I try to do is I start either with a groove that may be a drum groove, or
Okay.
maybe a groove on a synth, or just a, you know, normal audio clip which has something which I like. It's a long process, I can say. Like, if you start making, you can make a groove in like 2 hours, 3 hours, that's not a problem. But the main thing is to properly complete your track, post-production, pre-production stuff.
Okay.
Then there comes the sound selection. A lot of time goes inside. So what I do basically is, if I'm approaching some label, if I have some label in my mind, I'll try and sit and listen to their music properly.
Okay.
Like, you know, really concentrate on, like, on what minute what effects they're using,
Okay.
what on what minute the break is starting, what minute they again introducing the second drop,
Okay.
you know, what lead they're using in the second drop, what effects and other things. So, like, for example, just like previous month, I wanted to get signed to a label called Aftertech.
Okay.
So I did send them a track and even got selected. But the scene was that my track was melodic enough, but they thought that it was good enough, but they wanted to make a few changes out of it.
Okay.
So the scene was, as I told you, when I start, I don't really have anything in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes you also have to go according to the label, you know, what the label wants, because you can't just keep making what you like.
Of course.
Because if you eventually, not everyone's gonna like what you like.
Mhm.
Sometimes, you know, you have to see other people's
So you're
perspective.
saying what you do is you study the record label first,
Everything,
and every release is
everything, yeah. Like, because every label eventually have their own vibe, I can say,
sound. Yeah.
and eventually they are the best judges to judge your tracks. So you try your best. What I feel is, I try my best in production. I start from the kick or maybe whatever it is, but I concentrate more on the mid section, you can say, the drop
Okay.
or the main groove. That's what I concentrate more on my production, and it's really fun. Like, it's a long process, but it's fun.
What's your dream record label right now? What are you looking forward to? What's going to be that song or that label that you have that, okay, you know, I've done this now. I think let me focus on something else at the same time.
For now, my dream record label would be Anjuna Deep, and there's one more record label. This record label called Dynamic, and
Of course.
yeah.
Solomon's label.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's really hard to get on this label.
I
as in.
understand.
So
Have you sent some tracks to them though?
Yes, I've been sending to Anjuna Deep. Like, I sent them thrice.
Okay.
They got rejected. But it's good. Like, you know, you get experience.
Of course.
You know how to improve. Like, you know, I'll keep sending them till one day I will.
I'm pretty sure you're going to, the day is not far, man. I'm pretty sure you're going to kill it in that sense.
Yes, I will. Yes. And I'm really looking forward also to release on a few new record labels, which are new, but they don't have much following. But these record labels are like supported from big artists, like who releases on big labels.
Okay.
So I'm actually now I'm open to all the record labels that I've read. But I one day really want to get my track on the top 100 list.
it'll definitely go there. So tell me one thing, Nakul, who all are there in your family? Are they supporting your scene? Are they okay with you? Because see, although you're producing music and producing good music, we are definitely working at a genre which is very different. It's not something that everyone could probably understand. And since the background that you've come from, and it's a completely bipolar. It's a very different thing from probably doing something commercial and on the road, and to doing like an underground techno or a house record. Is your family supporting it?
Yeah, my family is like just me, my mom and dad.
Okay.
And
So no siblings?
No siblings. I'm
Okay.
just alone. Yeah, so they support me in all the ways they can, like however they can. And for the music scene also, they do support me. But eventually you have to do something on your own. Like you can't depend on them.
But they know that this is your eventual plan, that you want to become a producer and a DJ?
Yes, they know everything, what I'm doing, where I'm performing, what I'm doing. But eventually, like, they also trying to get a job for me.
Okay. So there's struggles happening?
Yeah, like on and off, family issues still go on.
I understand, man.
And I try to refuse.
So you're focused and you're clear that 100% you want to stick to the music industry?
Yeah, at least for the more 5-6 years I'm gonna stick to it.
That's your time. You're giving yourself about 5-6 years to make sure that you're there.
Yeah.
How many gigs do you do in a month? How often do you play?
I try to do at least 2 gigs a month.
Okay.
And either I approach whatever, like if they approach me. But I like to do more. Like if I get a chance, I like to play every weekend.
Great.
Like everyone wants to do that.
Of course, yeah. Okay, so a couple of tricks that you want to share, something that you use in your process in terms of production that you want to tell the audience that you do, which is, which we know that this is probably Nakul C's sound.
See, I basically try to use all the stock plugins.
Okay.
Like VSTs, and my sound basically is more like I use simple beats, but I like to use a lot of melodic stuff, like the synths, the leads, even the effects sometimes. There are few tracks of mine I've even used vocal samples.
Okay.
I like to use vocal samples. So yeah, you can define my sound like simple beats with rhythmic leads.
All right. And what's the future plan? What are the records you're working on right now? Anything is in the process?
Right now, I'm actually working on a few tracks. I'm collaborating with a few artists from Pune, outside Pune.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes. Some 4-5 projects going on right now.
So that's the plan for 2020? About 4-5
No,
records?
for 2020 I have other plans. I really want to get into Ableton. I want to get certified from, like, I want to sit for the exam, Ableton.
Okay, wow.
So maybe I'll start preparing for that this year.
Okay.
So hopefully I get to sit for this year. If not, then next year.
All right. Anything that you feel has made you stronger? Anything that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, at the start when I wanted to get into the local, like I was into production, but I was not into the local scene much.
Okay. Local scene is in the sense you didn't know anybody?
Yeah, I didn't come out in the clubs, and
Okay.
I didn't really have any idea how to get a gig. So that time I contacted a few artists from Pune.
Okay.
And they were more than happy to help me, and I really appreciate them helping me out. Actually, to tell you, there was the first gig after my accident was Eureka, and it was Sequels playing over there.
Oh, wow.
And I got in contact with him, and it was my first, like you can say, after my accident, it was my first gig I went for, and I really had a good time listening to him.
So that was the first time you went after your accident, which was, I think, in 2012.
Yeah.
So are you in touch with him? Have you?
Yeah, we are in touch, but not that much. But if I need any help or anything,
he's a great fellow. If you can, if there's anything, he's definitely going to be
I got a chance to meet like these people. He's a sequel. Even Quishtek is. I got to meet Nikhil Chinnappa. I got to meet Ditonic.
Wow.
Even you are meeting today.
Come on,
so,
man. I'm not in the same ranks as them, but I'll take the compliment.
But still, you get to learn so many things from. Because Sequel, when I met him, he was very nice enough. He even introduced me to a few local guys. Omkar, Tapasya, Sotra. Yeah. So these guys also. I'm working on a track with Tapasya Music right now.
Great, yeah.
And so these people helped me in my early stage. I even spoke to him on the call. He was very helpful. Like, he told me what to do next.
Who's your go-to person when you make a record? Who's your go-to person? And who's the person who tells you on your face ki bro bakwas gana bana hai? Everybody should have that one person who says, you know what, this is not great. Do you have anyone like that who's there?
Not really, bro, because I think you are the best person to judge your song. Like if you're not sure about what I do is, if I'm not sure about a track, I'll just keep it laying on in my laptop for a month or something.
Okay.
And after a month with a fresh ears with
Wow,
fresh
that's great. That's a great idea actually.
yeah, then
I
you
think
listen to the track, and then you
you get a fresh
think
perspective.
again, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And even if you're not sure, then you have your friends, of course, you can send it. But first, you make sure your track is good enough. Then you send it to other people.
Yeah. All right, man. So what's the plan? What's the next step? What's the next big thing that's happening for you in your music career?
My music career, I'm actually planning to go to Goa
Wow.
this month.
Great,
Let's
yeah.
see. I'm trying to get into scene over there. Let's see how it goes.
Great stuff, yeah.
And for 2012, as I said, I might sit for the exams for able. I want to get certified. So let's see how it goes. And also, I'm working on a few releases.
Okay.
And I'm behind few labels. Like I want to get my tracks on those labels. So let's see how it goes.
All right. Any tips and tricks that you want to share with the new producers? A lot of people are picking up the underground music scene right now. Any tips? Because especially most of us are self-learned. So any tips that you want to give them?
Yeah, like just go for it. Like whatever you wanna achieve it. Like it's like maybe not make a track. Some people they are into production, but I've got a few people coming up to me and telling me I'm into production all, but they get stuck when they're making a track. Like they get stuck. I like just complete it somehow. Like
Complete the entire track.
just complete it somehow.
Even if it's good or bad.
Make it into a WAV file and keep it. Don't worry about the production and quality. Just complete it and see about it. Listen to it 10 times. Maybe 100 times if you want.
Okay.
And compare your track to other people. And just go for it. Whatever you want, just sometimes people get lazy. I don't know, so I have to learn that. And don't do that. Like just go and don't concentrate more on learning the basics. I feel like the VSTs and all. Like you don't need to download a new VST every week or anything. Like you have your basic VSTs. You can do a lot with
So
them.
do you have like a proper studio setup right now at home, or what's your workstation?
Yeah, I have my laptop, my monitor speakers.
Okay.
I have a keyboard.
Okay.
And I have my controller.
Great. All right. Nakul, it was great chatting with you. The story is phenomenal, from starting off from the scratch, and you can't actually go lower than that. Start off from the streets and made it to where you are right now. And hopefully I'll see you gigging more places at a lot of venues. And
yes.
wish you all the luck with all your future releases. Thank you so much for doing this for me, man. I
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much
it because
for
it just took me like one call and you were like, yeah, bro, I'm on. I'm in. Means a lot, man.
Yeah, it means a lot to me too. Like it's a nice platform you're giving to artists like me, and I really feel appreciated because I don't know like how many people gonna hear this, but I hope they like my story and they like your work too.
Of course, and hopefully if you are free, let's work together on a track whenever we get a chance.
Sure, bro.
We'll definitely we'll hook up on something, man.
Yeah, sure, we'll do that, bro.
Thanks a lot, Nakul. It was great chatting, bro. Cheers, man. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much, bro.
Bye.
Bye, bro.
And that was the episode, guys. Thanks for tuning into the BrkThru Podcast. I'm getting mad love from all of you guys from the fraternity. Continue sharing, but definitely consider subscribing, following, liking, doing all that good stuff. This definitely helps me a lot.